Hello, friends, welcome back. And today we are going to discuss the words from session 23. And we have been doing many other sessions also from this main or broad topic, how to talk about actions. And this will be our last session in this particular main subject, which talks about various actions. And session 23 we are going to finish in two parts. Part 1 we are going to do just now, and there will be part 2 also. So be with me. Okay, so the first root that we have there is bonus or bene, or sometimes it is simply bon also, and all of these things simply mean something good. Okay, so if you remember from the last session, we had the root malus or mal, that was something bad. Now we have the other side of the coin, which is bonus or bene or bon, and that simply means something good. So let us see different words that we can have from this particular root. You have this word like bonus, which is, it could be like some bonus payment or some bonus reward. So you get bonus when you do something extra, or originally it meant that you get bonus when you do something good. Okay, and the extra thing is considered to be a good thing. Okay, so you get bonus for that. Here also we have this word bon. You have our common word benefit, and here also the root bon is there, which is good. So benefit is something which has some good sides, as simple as that. We have beneficial also, something is beneficial, it is full of goodness. Now we have this word which is called benign, and this means a number of things, but all of them are related to our root bon, which is good. So this will mean good also, and this will definitely be related to good, but it means kind or soft also, and you can say pleasant also. And benign is an adjective, so you will say certain things to be benign. Okay, like benign attitude, so kind attitude. Some people can have benign attitude towards criminals, or let's say malefactors. Okay, so benign attitude is to have the kind attitude, right? So it's also something good. And this word has been used in reverse sense also, that is, it is used to say something which is not harmful is benign. Something which is not harmful is benign. So like we also say uh, benign tumor. So what is benign tumor? Generally tumors are harmful, but when we add this adjective benign to this tumor, then that tumor is harmless. Okay, so something which is supposed to be harmful, but if that turns out to be kind, good, or not harmful, then we add this adjective benign. Okay, and in fact recently in news headlines also, America's president used this term, and he was saying that, and maybe he was underestimating also. So he said that 99% of corona cases are benign. Okay, so that is, they are harmless, they are not causing any problem, and they can be recovered very easily, the people. And so he said that 99% cases are benign cases. Okay, so possibly this was an understatement. So you have this word benign, and the root is always something related to bon or ben, and related to goodness. Okay, or not harmful. We have one word which is bona fide. Now bona is good, and fide or fide is faith. Okay, this root we will discuss in our next slides also, but just let us restrict ourselves to bona fide. So bona fide literally means in good faith. In good faith. So a person can be bona fide member of some institution. Any particular act can be bona fide. So like a person, like when we write applications in universities or our institution, then we say that I am the bona fide scholar or the bona fide student of this institution. So what that means is that somebody is writing in a good faith, or that person has a very faithful record towards that university or institution. Okay, so person can be a bona fide person. Any offer can be a bona fide offer. Okay, so let's say in supermarket, in a supermarket, if you have any offer which says 50% is off, so if it is said that it's a bona fide offer, okay, it means that there are no hidden terms and condition. It's just an offer. It's just an offer in a good faith. Okay, which you can trust easily. So that is called being bona fide. Okay, bona fide person, bona fide offer, right? Something like that. Now we have this word benefactor. So here also you can see that we have this root ben, and factor is something like a doer. Okay, so ben is good and factor is the doer. So earlier in the last session we had, and probably before that, we had this malefactor. So malefactor is somebody who is doing something bad to us. So on the other hand, when somebody does something good to us, that person is called the benefactor. Okay, doing good. And the next word which you can see there is beneficiary. Okay, so benefactor is the doer, and beneficiary is the receiver of the good act. Okay, so benefactor is the doer of the good act, and beneficiary is the receiver of the good act or action. So in fact, like when we transfer some money to some person in a bank, and when we fill the form, so the beneficiary's account is there. Okay, so beneficiary's account is that person's account whom we are sending money. Okay, and we are the benefactor because the person, or we are paying, or anybody who is paying money, that person is benefactor, and the one who is receiving money is called beneficiary. Okay, so benefactor is your account, and beneficiaries account is to whom that person's account to whom you are paying money. Okay, so there is a foundational difference between these two words, but both these words contain bene, that is good, and factor is the doer, and fishery is the receiver. Okay, so I hope that is clear. And we have this word benevolent also. So benevolent, uh, volent you can see here, bene you can see. So volent, I had told you earlier, that is feeling. Like in malevolent, if a person is malevolent, then he has the bad feelings, and if a person is having good feelings, that person is called benevolent person. So all these words, benefactor, beneficiary, and benevolent, they are somewhat interconnected. So there will be an act of benevolence, okay, or the benevolent act. The doer of the benevolent act is benefactor, and the receiver of the benevolent act is beneficiary. Okay. Now we have a number of other words which come from the similar French root, which is bon, and this also means good. And there are many French expressions which have come to English language, and these days we use them. So let us discuss these expressions also. So one is bonjour, and bonjour simply in French language it means something like good morning, okay, or a good day. When you meet somebody, you say bonjour in French language, and here also you can see bon, which is good, and jour is something like day or morning. Okay, so in English also we these days say bonjour. And there's something called bon vivant. So bon vivant is a person always, and bon is good, and viva or vivant is somebody who is full of life. Okay, these roots we will discuss later, but viva, just understand that it means life, or vivant is the person who is full of life. So a person who is cheerful, who is always happy. And remember we had done this word gregarious. Okay, one who easily mingles with the people and the society, and that person is definitely going to be extrovert also. So bon viva is a cheerful person, jovial, friendly, and very gregarious and extrovert type of person. Okay, and we have this phrase bon appetit. Okay, bon appetit. So appetite, you can see that it has something to do with appetite or hunger or eating, and bon is good. So what happens when people in French, uh, in French language, what do people say when they sit together to eat something? So they wish each other bon appetit. Okay, so it's something like good eating, or have a good eating, have a plentiful of eating. So before we start our food, we say, start eating our food, we say to each other bon appetit. Okay, so this is also one expression which has come to English language, and of course from French language. Another is bon voyage. Okay, voyage, you can see it's related something to like travel, expedition, or a long journey. and bon is good. So bon voyage is a kind of wish or well wish. So when somebody is leaving for a journey, these French people, they say bon voyage. Okay, so it simply means, like we in English say, happy journey. Okay, so bon voyage means good journey, have a good journey. So we wish people bon voyage when they are about to leave their source place. So bon voyage. Now there's one word which is called bon homie. Now bon homie, let us talk about the roots first. Bon is good, and homie is something related to humanity or friendship. So let's say friendship. So now you can easily guess the meaning of this word. Bon homie is a very pleasant or very cheerful friendship that you can have with somebody. So that's called bon homie. And another word which comes from bon is bounty. Okay, so bounty means a particular reward. So there can be like there are criminals, notorious criminals are there, and often the government has put some prize to be given to some person who catches or helps in catching a particular criminal. So that money is called bounty. Okay, so that's a reward for something done courageously. Okay, so bounty is simply reward. So that was one example, and there is something called war bounty also. So when the war is over, the soldiers, they always plunder the land which they have conquered. Okay, so all the wealth and all the things that you get after the war is over, that is called bounty, war bounty. Okay, so it can be any kind of reward that you get for doing something good. Okay, of course in war you don't do something good, generally you kill people, but bounty is a kind of reward for your courageous or good act. Okay, so bounty. Now we have our next root, which is fide, and that is to say faith. Okay, fide is faith, or fide is faith. It's from Latin language. And we have so many words from fide in English language. One you can see is bona fide, which we just did. Bona is good and fide is faith. One thing is called fidelity. Okay, so being faithful is the meaning of fidelity, or being honest. Being faithful or being honest is called your fidelity, right? So the one, or let's say any relationship is there, and if both the partners are faithful, or if all the partners, or if in a marriage the partners are faithful to each other, then we have a strong fidelity. Okay, and if you break the fidelity, then the thing is called infidelity. Okay, so infidelity is the cause of many divorces. Okay, is one of the main causes of divorces, infidelity. Now we have something, a word which is a bit similar to infidelity, but means something else. infidels. Okay, so infidels are people who belong to other faith. Okay, so infidels are not those people who are practicing infidelity, but simply infidels from the point of view of one particular faith are the people who do not follow their particular faith. Okay, so maybe let me make this clear to you. So one particular religion, and if they have some followers, and of course they have some followers, and so they simply are the adherents of that particular religion, and for them, let's take the example of Islam religion. So for them, everybody else who is not practicing Islam is having other faith. Okay, and but all of them are seen with a contempt. Okay, or they don't like those people simply. Okay, so they are the people of other faith, and they are pejoratively called infidels. Okay, in a bad sense. So it's a highly pejorative term, highly negative term. Okay, it has bad connotation. So in fact the situation changes. So for the followers of other faith, the followers of Islam will be infidels. So the relation is vice versa also. Okay, both are infidels, but from the point of view of others religion. Okay, so that is called, or those people are called infidels who follow other faith, or a faith which is usually not correct. Okay, because uh, the followers of a particular religion will think that their religion is the only true religion. Okay, so in fact there is one book on internet which is called Slay the Infidels. Okay, how the Quran calls for violence. So it's a book which has been written uh, in order to criticize this religion and the book. Okay, it has become quite controversial also, and it's a point of debate, but I just want to show you the title of this book. It says Slay the Infidels. Okay, so infidels are those people who are not having faith in this particular book or religion, and the author believes that the book says that we should kill those infidels, or we should slay those infidels. So that is how this word has been used in a highly pejorative sense. Okay, so that was just an example. It's a highly controversial and debatable issue. Now we have many other words also from fide. One is perfidious. Now per is something like all through, all or through. Okay, in a very complete sense, purnata, something like that, right? That is per. Fidious. Now it's a negative term, first of all, and anybody or anything which cannot be believed, or which is not worth believing, that particular thing or person is called perfidious. Okay, or treacherous. So perfidious are untrustworthy people or uh, thing. Okay, or even country, like we had recently termed China as perfidious. Okay, because China cannot be trusted. Okay, so this was used there also in news. Okay, our next word is confident, and probably you all know the meaning of this word confident, but let us analyze it, break it into its parts, and let us see what kind of roots we have there. Con, we have discussed, it means with, and fide is faith. So confident is a person who is with a lot of faith. Okay, so that is the root meaning also, and the in fact true meaning of confident person also, because that person or the confident person is going to have a lot of faith that he can do something. Okay, so confidence is possessed by confident people. Okay, so they are with the fide, or they are with the faith. Okay, so confident. And there is one word which is slightly less popular, but it's very important, which is diffident, and this is the opposite of confident. Okay, dis or diff is there. In fact, the root prefix is dis, which is a kind of negation, and disfide. So if you don't have faith in you, then what you have is diffidence, and you are diffident person. Or simply, it means that a person who lacks in self confidence, that person is called diffident person, or the person with diffident personality. Okay, so the opposite of confident is diffident. A confident person and a diffident person. Now we have our next root, which is factus, and this simply means something to make. Okay, or to manufacture. Now if you remember, we had this word malefactor. Okay, so here we have this root factor or factus. So malefactor is the doer of the bad things or evil things. On the other hand, benefactor is the doer of the good things. Now let us see how this word is embedded in our language. Factory. Now why do we call factory a factory? Because it makes or it produces certain items. So you have this root factus there. Okay. Now you must have heard about this word, which is called fiction. Okay. So in literature, you have different novels or different books. In fact, books are there and they have different genres. So genres are the categories or the types of books. Like there can be autobiography, there can be fiction, there can be non-fiction. The various genres could be like crime, thriller, comedy, okay, romance, drama, those kind of things are called genres. Now one genre is called fiction. Now fiction is a story which is man-made, okay, or which is created by human mind. It's not true, or it's imaginative. So fiction is fiction because it's made. Okay, so you have this root factus here also, and fiction is therefore some story which is made up. Okay, that is why this is called fiction. And non-fiction will be those things which are not made up or which are not imaginative, but which are based on real events, such as autobiographies are not categorized as fiction. Okay, so one popular example, or simply one example, could be like this book Two States by Chetan Bhagat, and this author has written many other novels also, fictions, and this is one of the most popular ones. Okay, Two States, and we have a movie also based on this novel. Okay, so fiction also has this root factus there. Okay, now this fiction can be used in another sense also, or in another way, but the meaning is almost same or similar. Like fact versus fiction. So fact is something real and fiction is something imaginative. Okay, so like if you tell something and tell me a story or tell me an incident, and if that is too far-fetched or that is too unbelievable, then I can say that it's just a fiction. It's just a fiction of your mind, it's not true. Okay, so fact versus fiction, in that sense also it can be used. And fiction also denotes or refers to one particular type of genres of different books. Okay, or those books which are, or the plot or the story wherein is fictional, okay, or man-made. So I hope this word is clear, and this also has our root factors. Okay, so we had factory. In fact, one more word is there which I forgot to mention here: manufacture. Okay, and so factories do a lot of manufacturing. Now facture is to produce and manus is hand. Always remember this, like you have manuscript, earlier we had done. Manuscript is that script which is written by hand, and manufacture is the process of making something with the help of hand. Okay, because generally in the beginning, when factories were installed or set up for the first time, the people had to do a lot of work with the help of their hands. So the term we have is manufacturing, okay, or the manufactured items. So literally means making with the help of hands. Okay, and we have this suffix which is phi. Okay, when we attach this phi to any particular verb, then this also denotes that we are doing that particular thing. Okay, so this is somewhat similar to factus, but just fy is retained here, and this is used as a suffix. So let me illustrate that with the help of many examples. So like clarify is the process of making something clear. Okay, so you have this clarify. Rectify is to correct something. Okay, liquefy is to make something liquid once again. Solidify is to make something solid. Okay, like water solidifies and becomes ice, or ice liquefies and becomes water. Magnify is to make something large, okay, or to zoom in something is called to magnify it. Okay, so phi everywhere here means to do. Okay, more words we have. Simplify is to make simple or make something simple. Dignify is to enhance someone's dignity or pride. Putrefy, now putrid is a word which means to decay, or that thing which has decayed. Okay, so like when जब चीज़ें सड़ जाती हैं, so that is called putrid condition. Okay, so the process of decaying is called putrefying. Decaying, decomposing, that is called putrefying. And we have always a foul smell from, or bad smell from, putrefying substances or objects. Now deify, one word is there. Now dei is something like God. Okay, in fact in Hindi or Sanskrit we have this word de. So when we make somebody, or when we treat somebody like God, that is called deifying somebody. Okay, so we have so many people in our country whom we worship like God. So what we have done, we have deified them, we have made them Dev or God. Okay, So the Latin root is, or the French root is Deus. Deus is God, which is something equivalent to Deva. Okay. Verify is to make something clear or true once again. In fact, here we have this root ver. Now ver means something which is true. True thing is called ver in Latin, I guess. So verify, when you verify something, what you are saying that that particular thing is true. Okay, it has been verified. So when scientists verify something, so the scientists are saying this, that yes, it is true. Okay. And so with this, I think we have completed few, just I think 3-4 roots from this chapter or session 23. There are 3 or 4 roots remaining that we will do in the next part. So only after that you will be able to solve different exercises. Till then, revise this or these words and roots, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you all for being with me in this session, and thank you once again. Bye bye.